So, today is about becoming a champion. I'm going to take you across a few minutes about what is it that takes, or what does it take from you to become a champion. Now, I think around somewhere around between 3 to 7, depending on the parents, okay? When we start hearing the word stop, more often than not. Stop doing that. Hey, don't jump on the couch. Stop, I have work. And we start hearing that more often. Now there are two kinds of, or many kinds of kids, but let's say we can categorize them in two categories. One that don't care, and my daughter falls into that. She never, it's like stop is like keep going, you know? Stop means, yeah, I'll jump more on daddy at 6 in the morning. And some of the kids will listen to their parents. So let me take a poll here. Which one are you? Are you the person who hears stop and you stop? And you wait for permission, or are you the person who keeps on going? Stop? Who will stop? Yeah, please stop at the traffic light. That doesn't mean go. I'm not responsible for any accidents that happen today. Okay? So, who of you here stop? And literally, I'm not talking about thinking about it. Like you hear stop, you immediately stop. About doing, maybe I'm doing something wrong. You start thinking like that. Be honest. Yeah, it happens to us. We start doubting ourselves. So the first trait of a champion is someone who does not doubt himself or herself. If they know that they're meant to do something, they go after it with all of their force, with all of their might. They shoot first, think later. Okay? Now, this is not about good or bad here. We're not here to evaluate this. We're just saying that sometimes it takes for you to be a champion to not stop when others do.
Whoa, that's not good.
Oh, I don't need this. I'm already late.
Somebody will come. Anybody out there?
Do you have a phone?
No. Sorry. Somebody! Hello? There are 2 people stuck on an escalator and we need help. Now, would somebody please do something? I don't believe this. You gotta be kidding me.
I'm gonna cry.
Well, something else left to do, you said.
Hello? Hey, don't worry about it. I'll fix it in a second.
You said you could fix it. All right. That's more like it. He says you can fix it.
We've all been in a place where our business gets stuck. We get stuck doing something or get stuck in a conversation, doing the same things. I mean, Iyad spoke in the morning about doing things in the same way and expecting a different result, which is the definition of insanity. And we all, the challenge is, from where you're sitting, you can see how stupid this is, right? And all they have to do is take a few steps. And that's where we get stuck. That's the difference between champions and the people who are not champions. Rightly so, Iyad said that sometimes the difference between number 1 and number 2 is a millisecond. It's very, very small. But it's for that person who took a little bit more, did more, who was unstoppable, who didn't stop when people told him to stop. He kept on going. When things stop, it's not just people telling him to stop. when things stopped or came to a halt, they kept on going. How do you do that? The thing is, a lot of us depend on the outside world to tell us who we are. So you go in, and it reflects images of you that are not you. And that is exactly what the world is. What people say about you and how they see you is not who you are. How things unfold in your world is not who you are. So are you taking a deep look inside to find out who you really are? Champions do not wait for the world to define them. They define the world by looking inside. They know that no matter where they are right now, and every single one of us have been there where things were not going right, things were just a mess. You have two choices. You either say, this is who I am, this defines me, or you say, this is just a circumstance, it does not define me. I define me. I know who I am. I know I'm meant for greatness. That's what Muhammad Ali said. To be a great champion, you must believe that you are the best.
Doesn't it bother you that people are making you out to be a joke and that I'm going to be included in that? Do you think that's right? Do you?
You ain't gonna believe this, but you used to fit right here. I'd hold you up to say to your mother, this kid's gonna be the best kid in the world. This kid's gonna be somebody better than anybody ever knew. And you grew up good and wonderful. It was great just watching you. Every day was like a privilege. Then the time come for you to be your own man and take on the world, and you did. But somewhere along the line, you changed. You stopped being you. You let people stick a finger in your face and tell you you're no good. And when things got hard, you started looking for something to blame, like a big shadow. Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now, if you know what you're worth, now go out and get what you're worth. But you got to be willing to take the hits and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you want to be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that. I'm always going to love you no matter what. No matter what happens. You're my son, you're my blood. You're the best thing in my life. But until you start believing in yourself, you ain't going to have a life.
Life is going to hit us hard and keep coming and keep coming. And it's about us standing and seeing that within us. Now, how many of you have surrendered to the life that you're living right now? You're living life according to life's terms, not yours. Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? Don't you know that there is so much power in you? It's ridiculous. You're no different than any of those people who've achieved, who've reached there. I mean, Sylvester Stallone wrote Rocky in 3 days, the first Rocky. Wrote it in 3 days out of frustration. He wouldn't accept that he didn't have a place in the world. He went there, locked himself up, 3 days, wrote Rocky, and the rest is history. And Marianne Williamson had a quote that Nelson Mandela, which I'm going to share with you, said about your deepest fear.
Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We were all meant to shine as children do. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. Sir, I just want to say thank you. You saved my life.
Thank you, sir. All of you.
We let go of our strength, and we believe that we're not meant to be there. We fear the spotlight. We say, we're not meant to be in the spotlight. And what you find is that that's what you're creating around you. Every person around you in your life, and if that's something that changed my life, a quote that changed my life is that at any given moment, there is someone you don't know that is looking up to you to learn from your ideas, your thoughts, your actions, and your words. When I heard that, everything shifted in my life. I said, if somebody's looking at me and I don't know, I'm influencing their lives. So when I play small, when I say words that are not coming from my heart, that are not empowering to me, when I'm playing small, they will play small. A person can be my son, my daughter, that can be a friend, that can be someone I don't know, it can be a colleague or someone that I just met. It can be someone I said hello to here in this conference. We never know who looks up to us. And we play small and we think we're not a role model. Actually, you are. Every single one of you is a role model to someone. So if you don't believe that you're meant for greatness, can you take it on yourself that somebody believed the same thing, that they're not meant for greatness because of you? Can you? Can you bear that? So if you're not willing to stand for yourself, stand for others. That's your role in life. And unless you are willing to challenge the limits that people put for you, and actually the worst person that puts limits for you is yourself. You talk yourself out of every brilliant idea you have, and out of every action before you do it. It was like Iyad said, when the 5 birds decided to fly, and nobody flew. You make decisions and you say, maybe it's not the time today, or this time. The economy is really bad this time, okay? And for any of you who read about the economy, the best companies that are surviving right now are the companies who invested when the economy was down. So how many great ideas, how many great actions, how many things you could have done to change the world, at least your world, and you talked yourself out of it. Not someone else, but yourself. You said, Who does this consistently here? You talk yourself out of your great ideas or things to do. Come on, I do it all the time. Don't worry, we're all like that. The only person who's not like that are prophets, because they actually have learned to control their mind. But everybody else, we are very, very good at talking out. And not only that, we start doing it to ourselves, and then we find ourselves doing it to others. Now, if you're not willing to admit about yourself, how many people did you talk out of doing something? Come on, we do it all the time. What do you need this for? Why you're doing this? You have a great business right now. Why you're venturing into this? Don't we do it all the time? Unconsciously, we're trying to care for them by screwing up their world. So let's look at people who weren't capable or who stopped at no limit. Let's look at someone. Some of you may have seen this video before.
When troubles come and my heart burdened be, then I am still and wait here in the silence until you come and sit a while with me. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be.
That's what happened. Did you notice that his father, the first thing he says, you don't have to do this. So we tried to relieve them. What did he say? He said, no, I have to do this. So he inspired his father to continue saying, if you're going to do this, then I'm going to be next to you. So by shining, he inspired the father to shine. By putting yourself out on the line, you inspire others. That's when you really realize how strong you are. And people have an appreciation for that, because it's not only about winning. Success is not winning. Success is about keeping on going. It's about the journey. What if you couldn't stop? What if you removed that? You were unstoppable. What can you achieve in your life? I want you to take just a moment to think about your life. If you were unstoppable, if you were all the qualities, and if you take them on, what can you achieve in your life? How it would be different? Not about the past. This is not a moment to say, oh, I wish I've done this. Oh, this is what I've wasted. This is about the future. what could be possible for you if you take on just one of the things we mentioned? And the one I want to invite you to is unstoppable. So what can happen in the next 5 years if you're unstoppable? Take a moment. Just reflect. Who of you feels that they will be at least 2 times as much more active, more happy, more engaged? Just one thing, being unstoppable. If you take nothing from today, take this. And that's what all of the great speakers are going to come up here going to talk to you about. It's about continuing on. It's about being the journey. I know because I know some of the presentations. So being unstoppable.
I've never really viewed myself as particularly talented. Where I excel is ridiculous, sickening work ethic. You know, while the other guy's sleeping, I'm working. While the other guy's eating, I'm working. There's no easy way around it. No matter how talented you are, your talent is going to fail you if you're not skilled. You know, if you don't study, if you don't work really hard and dedicate yourself to being better every single day, you'll never be able to communicate with people, with your artistry, the way that you want. So the only thing that I see that is distinctly different about me is I'm not afraid to die on a treadmill. You might have more talent than me, you might be smarter than me, but if we get on the treadmill together, right, there's 2 things. You're getting off first, or I'm going to die. It's really that simple.
It is really that simple. It's about you being unstoppable. Here's a guy who is the most successful, one of the most successful actors in the world. And it's easy for us sitting here. I know I do it all the time. I say to myself, if only I had what they had. Okay? If only I had, if only I was there, things would be easy. Now here's a guy who supposedly things are easy for him. Look at the passion he's speaking with. Look at how unstoppable he is. For me, that's someone who can see the winner in him. Because you see how he spoke. He spoke, I will rather die, or I would die on the treadmill. Basically, he's talking about a challenge when both people get on the treadmill. You want to say something, Shwan? Making programs all day. Well, it depends. If that's what you're passionate about. Nobody can tell you here what you're supposed to be passionate about. Okay? Some of the people who are what we call couch potatoes, okay, and they take that and they watch movies all the time and they write a blog about that and they become one of the, let's say, the best critics in the world about movies. Who are we to say, no, you're supposed to do this? You know, everybody is excellent at telling everybody else how to live their lives. We are excellent consultants. We know exactly what the next person needs to do in your life. Somebody tells us a story, let me tell you what you do. Right? We do that all the time. We just tell people, this is what you're supposed to do. And it's obviously opposite of what you're supposed to do. Or they shouldn't listen at all. That's why I said, when people say stop, and this is how you're supposed to go, just go, keep on going your way. Now, that doesn't mean don't take feedback. Take feedback, listen by all means. However, do with it, take what works for you and what drives you forward. Because there's only one thing that will help you move and will help you get what you, is action and moving forward. So if you see the winner in you, then you can become that winner. If you can't see that winner in you, you can never become that.
Mi nombre es Lionel Messi y esta es mi historia. Cuando tenía 11 años se me descubrió un problema de hormonas de crecimiento. Yo creo que al ser más chico que los demás quizá era más ágil y eso me ayudaba a la hora de jugar al fútbol. Aprendí siempre a jugar al fútbol por abajo y siempre con el balón en el piso porque era lo que más cómodo me sentía a mí. Ahí es cuando te das cuenta que las cosas malas pueden resultar bastante buenas.
There's a chance, or the risk. Let me ask you here, who's willing to play the game of life? Okay. Who's willing to win in the game of life? Who's willing to lose in the game of life? Great. For those of you who didn't raise your hand, let me tell you how it's going to go. There's a 50% chance that you're going to lose at anything you do. And there's a 50% chance that you're going to win. And if you're not willing to embrace the 50% chance that you're going to lose, you're not playing the game. Everybody who plays a game knows, even the people, anybody who's a banker here? Anybody? Okay, no bankers. In anything that you do, they need to realize that the risk, there's no such thing called risk aversion or preventing from risk, because risk is always 50-50. That's how it always goes. For any of you who paid attention in math in school, the probabilities are always 50-50. Now what you can do is do your very best to increase the probability of winning, but you can never eliminate the 50-50 chance of things happening. So if you're not willing to lose, you cannot win. And that's what they play. They go in, he does his best, Lionel Messi, okay? And he knows that there's a chance that he might lose this game. Actually, for any of you who do sports, you would realize that the champions in the sport, they miss more than they hit. You know why? Anybody who knows why? Why they miss more than they can hit? Why? They're not afraid of losing, that's one. They try, what else? They keep on hitting the ball. They don't stop. They don't stop to think, will this go in? I don't think it's going to go in. Let me not shoot it. Let me wait for another one when I'm in better position. When the goalkeeper actually is not at the goal. Let me wait to see that I have a clear path. It's a sure thing, then I will shoot. That's a good investment of my energy. Can you imagine if they did that? They don't do that. They keep on shooting and say, one of them will hit. You may be right. You may be right. Let me tell you what I know about Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett invests in companies and stay with them even when they're losing. Actually, a lot of his investments were losing at a time. Because he invests for a long term, he wins at the end. He comes out winning. If you would study his investments, he invests long before others, and at times where others say, no, that's risky, he invests, but he keeps on going and he makes his calculation on other things. So he's faster than other investors. I'm not talking about that fast about buying stock and flipping it. He's faster than other investors in that way. So I'm not saying, see, we're talking about a game, so I'm not saying don't do any research, okay? That's not what I'm saying. I hope that's what you realize. All I'm saying is that you cannot wait for the exact right opportunity. Did you get that? So I'm not saying just keep on shooting without thinking. Obviously, for Lionel, okay, for Messi to actually hit the ball, he trained so many hours and he spent so much time, more than anybody else, training and training and training and doing the things that others say, I already trained, man. I don't have to train again. I'm here, I reached, I'm a champion right now. I don't have to train. If you see, the one thing that distinguishes champions from anybody else is they are the ones who train the most. So if that relates to Warren Buffett's example where Lionel spent all of his time, or any of the other champions, spent all of his time training for that, when that opportunity comes, that's what luck, Iyad talks about being lucky. Luck is opportunity meets preparation. So when he gets that ball in front of the goal, he doesn't have to think because it's become instinctive for him. So that he knows he can calculate and he can walk through it. Okay? Ask any question you want. I don't have all the answers. Just as you know, I don't have a commitment to answer that, or I don't have the answers. So that is one way of looking at it, and if it works for you, great. All I have to say is that life does not work the way you want it to work. So you may have a long-term plan and figure out everything, but guess what? Life is going to surprise you. So you never know. All I'm saying is that you never know. What I'm saying is that having a long-term plan may work for you. Having a short-term plan may work for you. What you need to do is to keep on going. Yeah. So, time, yes. So let's in out of respect for the so I'm more than happy to discuss that with you after we finish. And then again, I don't have the answers, you do. For your life, you're the one who have the answers. I don't have the answers for you. And you know what? What I'm saying may contradict a lot of what you're thinking. And that's okay. That's perfectly fine. I want you to have your own thing for yourself, not because you're listening to me. And this is what I want to say, is that as long as you're doing it half-hearted, it's not going to work, because you're going to fall. As long as you have the drive, the passion to walk through, even when you don't have a plan. Steve Jobs didn't have a plan. Steve Jobs didn't have a plan. He wasn't prepared to what's going to happen. That's okay, that's okay. So I know what I read. I may not be right, again, guys. But all I know about Steve Jobs is that he didn't have a plan. He didn't know that Apple's going to be, and by the way, he was a bad boss in the first years. And he had to get a kick, okay? He was kicked out, came back, and changed everything, okay? And worked against the market. A lot of the things that happen may not fit with a plan. All I'm saying is that as long as you have that drive to keep on going when you don't have a plan. Let's see.
Dad tore down a brick wall in the front of his business and told 12-year-old Will and his 9-year-old brother to rebuild it, a job they said was impossible. It took them a year and a half, but they did it.
And he said, now don't you ever tell me it's something that you can't do. You don't try to build a wall. You don't set out to build a wall. You don't say, I'm going to build the biggest, baddest, greatest wall that's ever been built. You don't start there. You say, I'm going to lay this brick as perfectly as a brick can be laid. And you do that every single day. And soon you have a wall. And soon you have a wall.
So it's about what you're up to right now. Reach out for the sun. As long as you know, it's all about the step you're going to do right now. So I want you to take another moment right now and think of what Jim Collins say, the big, hairy, audacious goal, your biggest goal. And just when you think of that goal, think about something you will do today. Just one thing. I'm going to give you one moment. Your big, hairy, audacious goal, brilliant, writing a book, opening a business, whatever it is. But what is the step you're willing to do today? It might be making a call. It might be writing something, whatever it is. The first word probably, the title of your book, whatever it is. Think about that. One moment.
I feel.
Do you feel alive?
I feel happy of myself.
I feel happy of yourself too. What do you got, any words of wisdom? What about for all the other kids trying to learn how to ride their bike? Can you say anything to them?
Everybody, I know you can believe in yourself. If you believe in yourself, you will know how to ride a bike. If you don't...
Everybody here, you are a champion. And this is some of the wisest words I've heard. Riding a bike is all about riding a bike. You can never plan it. You can never study it. You just get on the bike, ride it, fall, ride it again, and keep on until you master it. My name is Hussain Hallak, and my wish for you for today is to have, maybe I've opened up a possibility for you to believe that you can achieve outrageous success in everything you've done. Over to you.